Hey guys, if you like the content, please be sure to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another 8-4 Born of the Gods draft. Quick reminder, check out the MortarPod podcast. It's a weekly video podcast that me and Jake do, and we talk about standard constructed, and we talk about some of the weird cards of Magic from the past and present. Also, check out this week's Seems Good Magic card giveaway. I'm giving away a F&M Banisher Priest, and all you have to do is answer a simple question and subscribe to our channel and all that, so check that out too. Okay, on to the pack. We've got a foil Forge Stoker Dragon, who definitely going to slam first pick. That's a super worthy 6-drop in my mind. It's a pretty bomby card, great finisher. I'm sure it's excellent in any sort of green-red ramp strategy, but also good for any mid-range. Basically any strategy could always use a Forge Stoker Dragon, as long as you're in red, of course. Mind Reaver is our regular rare, not exciting at all. Servant of Timurit's good. Grave Robber Spider, Butcher, a couple other decent cards in here, nothing near on the level of a Forge Stoker Dragon. Okay, follow-up pick. Let's see. God-Favored General is good. Ari Worshippers is good. Rise the Challenge is good. Nyxborn Triton, good. Vanguard. Most of the cards in here are definitely playable. So if I want to just stay right on with the red strategy, we just pick Rise the Challenge, which is certainly playable. It's not the best card remaining in this pack. I think the best card remaining in this pack would have to be the Ari Worshippers. I've come to love this card a lot. Gives you evasive guys, can single-handedly take the game over. I'm kind of tempted to take that. Some people don't like the Is It strategy. I think at this point, I think every strategy is perfectly playable in this format. Any archetype you want to do is perfectly playable. It's just a matter of can you see the cards for it? So it's so early, I think we're just going to stay on taking the best cards in the pack. So I really do think Ari Worshippers is the best card in this pack, so I'm going to take it. Rise the Challenge would keep us on Forge Stoker Dragon, but just keeping my options open. Alright, we've got Temple of Malice, which is good. I like Scry quite a bit. Opens us up to black. I think the best card in this pack is probably the Spiteful Returned. Very good bestow. I like it a lot. Put it on an evasive guy. Can be something special. Rise the Challenge number 2 is here as well. I mean, this card's fine and playable. It's basically like picking up a Battle-Wise Valor. It's not an exciting third pick by any stretch of the imagination. It's a fine card. I've used it. I like it. I just don't really like picking it pick 3 here, but then again, there's not much else. I could take the Temple of Malice, and that keeps me open to black. But if I'm going towards black, I might as well just take the Spiteful Return. So I think we're just going to take the Spiteful Return because it's the best card in this pack, in my opinion. I like that bestow a lot. So keeping options open. Yep, like we got Asphyxiate now, which is pretty awesome. I'll pretty happily slam dunk that guy. It's not a guy, I guess. It's a kill spell, but this is an awesome kill spell, so I'll happily pick that up. This just plays so much better than I thought it was going to during spoiler season. So this has just been a pleasant surprise the entire time. Anything else in here that's worth mentioning? Yeah, Mischief and Mayhem, Reap What Is Sown, Oathsworn. Good green cards in here. Might be a sign. Silent Sentinel, a little bit expensive, but it's definitely a win con. Yeah, we're just going to take the Asphyxiate. It's a good kill spell. Alright, Asphyxiate number 2. Yes, I'm down. What else have we got in here? Course of the Tides, good. Astronomer's good. Not too much else. Asphyxiate number 2, taking it. Alright, where are we at now? Well, we got to Rise to the Challenge in red, which I would like to do. Who doesn't want to play Forge Stoker Dragon? Best card in this pack. Otherwise, I mean, Stratus Walk is very good with Ari Worshippers. So if I wanted to move into blue, I could take the Stratus Walk. But I mean, between Forge Stoker and Ari Worshippers, I'd rather play the Forge Stoker. So we can take the Rise of the Challenge now, and we're going to probably progress into red-black, if possible. Pillar of War is also very playable, as even if you had 0 cards to enchant it with, it's a 3-mana 3/3 blocker, which is not bad for some strategies. Probably control. Let's take the Rise of the Challenge. Okay. Options now. We have a Springleaf Drum, which is actually a card I like a lot. Whelming Wave moves us deeper into blue. Nyxborn Eidolon is probably just the pick. It's a bestow creature, can be cheap, can be played for value on heroic. Not much else to say. Cyclops of One-Eyed Pass is playable, but nothing to write home about. I think Eidolon works more just as a great card in general because you can play it early or you can play it late, both of which are good. Springleaf Drum is nice. Works very well, sickeningly well with the Ari Worshippers, but I think I'd rather just pick up a bestow guy. There's never really a time where bestow is bad in this format. You can quote me on that. Let's see. Grizzly Transformation gives us some evasion. That would be pretty good on Spiteful Returned. Also cantrips you. Otherwise, Astronomer is good in blue. It's hard to deny that. Already have a couple ways to trigger that heroic. But I don't mind taking the transformation. Red-black, I presume, gets a lot of creatures that don't have evasion. Black has a few flyers, but I think there's some fatties we could get, like the Cyclops of One-Eyed Pass. I think we saw 3 total in this, just in this this pack. So one of them could possibly wheel. Not sure. Epiphany Storm is cool. Necrobite's probably better. Can see this getting some good value. Alright, Table to Nullify. It might be a sign the blue is actually open. Nullify, I think, is better than Stratus Walk most of the time. Stratus Walk's better with Ari Worshippers, but actually all the cards in here remaining are pretty good. Could be red's getting cut, so I might just not be able to play Forge Stoker Dragon, which sucks, but I can definitely tolerate playing an Ari Worshippers, so why don't we just take the Nullify, which I think is actually the stronger card, even though like I said, Stratus Walk works better with Ari Worshippers. We've already got Grizzly Transformation for it, so no big deal. Alright, let's cut black. Alright, Marshmist Titan versus Sanguimancy. Draw X cards, lose X life, or X is your devotion to black. I mean, I could see it feels expensive. Not that Marshmist Titan doesn't, but if we're super heavy black, I'm going to wish I had the Titan. I'm actually going to opt for the Sanguimancy just because I haven't played it, so I don't want to preemptively judge it too much. We did end up getting a Cyclops back, so okay. Well, the good news is black is open. I think the bad news is we don't know yet if I mean, I'd still prefer to make Forge Stoker Dragon work. So we could just be super heavy black, and then our red is essentially Forge Stoker Dragon and maybe some other supplemental stuff. If there was some late blue stuff going, so it could be that we could go down the blue-black path again, which I don't mind. I've already got a pretty good removal suit going on. But overall, this deck needs some more stuff for sure. Needs some more tools at its disposal. Alright, well, Anthusa's sweet and green. We did see some fairly late green going. I just don't know if I want to opt into it necessarily. I'd almost prefer to just try and make the red work. I could alternatively start going for blue now because we know the blue's going later. But I don't know. I mean, Arena Athlete's fine, but it typically is a lot better in some sort of aggressive strategy, so I'm not very impressed there. Titan Strength is usually good. There's not a lot of times I'm sad that my deck has Titan Strength, but we're already looking a little more control-ish, so I could see the argument against it, but it's still a combat trick. It's a cheap combat trick that scries. I mean, obviously Disciple's good for the deck. I just feel fairly confident we're going to wheel it, just because of how late black stuff was going, but I might be wrong about that. I'm not sure. What's our cost sort looking like right now? Well, Prescient Chimera is better for blue, but Titan Strength might let us play the Forge Stoker. Let's take the Titan Strength. I think it might actually, just because of the price, be one of the better cards in that pack for us in general. Flame Speaker Adept, obviously good. Sip of Hemlock, definitely good. Good control card. Adept currently has what? Interactions with just one card, just the Titan Strength? Well, that's not that impressive. I think we just take the Sip here, get some more removal. I tend to never really draft the super removal-y decks. There's also Grip Titan here, but we can keep it black. I don't think we're going to wheel the Sip. I think we're much more likely to wheel that Disciple than we are to wheel the Sip. Sylvan Caryatid, good for green. So I guess we're hoping to wheel a red card, but I might just have to go into blue. We'll see how late blue goes in this pack. Like, there's a Vapor... Well, there's a Nimbus Naiad. I mean, that's a good reason to go blue. Some very good green tools in here as well. And doesn't seem to be any black in here, oddly enough. So I could just take the Titan Strength. I may just go for... I'm going to need more... The thing is, I'm going to need more creatures if I want some... It's not that... It's mostly that Titan Strength isn't that good for a mid-rangey format. It's best in aggro, but it's fine in mid-range. It's just it works best when it's in an aggro deck. Nimbus Naiad just gives us all sorts of bestow capabilities. It's also just all the green. It's really like, how badly do I want Forge Stoker Dragon to be my finisher? And I think the answer is pretty badly. I could also possibly splash, but I don't know. I'm gonna try and make red work. Well, looks like it could pan out for us, because now there's some good red picks. Why don't we just marry the idea of wanting to play Forge Stoker Dragon, because we already have 3 red tricks that I'm perfectly content with, and this guy is totally playable as a good blocker, so okay. Not too impressed with Fnatic, especially in this deck. I think we just want the Pharykis Cure. Much cheaper than Rage of Purphoros, and life gain is always good. So we are in the market for some threats, but hopefully we can come up with those later. Alright, Pharykis Cure number 2. Yes, I think we're going for that. Lash of the Whip versus Fellhide Minotaur. Alright, well, Minotaur is a good blocker. We currently have 5 creatures in the deck, and we're about almost midway through pack 2, so I would think that Fellhide Minotaur is where we need to be, especially when you factor we have double Necrobite. So as much as I'd like the Lash of the Whip here, I think realistically we're going to actually need to play creatures eventually. Well, Mogus's Marauders, yeah, that works. It's not typically what this strategy wants to do, but considering how deep black we are, I don't see why this card could be bad. Okay, read the bones. We are getting all the black picks, which is awesome. Unknown Shores would let us splash our blue cards, but I think we're just taking Read the Bones. I would say Read the Bones is probably 2 to 3 times better than Sanguimancy, presumably. Alright, Table to Warrior's Lesson, so that might be indicative green is yet still open. Red is definitely getting cut, but I'm not really upset. With the sheer amount of black we have in our deck, I don't mind supplementing for a Forge Stoker Dragon. Like, even though its ability obviously rewards you for the more red you're playing, you're going to be able to use its ability at least twice. So if that's not enough for you, then you weren't meant to win that game. Spark Jolt, yeah, this card's actually totally playable. I don't like it main deck, but it's certainly a playable card. Okay, so we're at 7 creatures. Looks like creatures are still our top priority for sure. Guess take some blue cards that are playable. So we're definitely mid-rangey. Table of Prescient Chimera. Okay, that's That's something, all right. May have to play Grixis. Clearly, I mean, clearly they wanted me to go blue-black. My thing is, Ford Stoker Dragon is insane. I'd love to see an argument against this card being insane because it is. It's straight up insane. Doesn't matter that Lash of the Whip and Rage of Perforos kill it. If it goes unanswered, it's going to win the game. Metamai. Well, that's not going to happen. And we didn't table the Disciple, by the way. Alright, so pretty easy Gray Merchant slam here. We are so deep black, it's outrageous. So I guess I couldn't bank on the Disciple tabling. Thought that was fairly safe assumption, but maybe that pack was not as deep as I thought it was. Coordinated Assault would also be fine. Rage is cool. I don't think we need a second read necessarily, but I guess I'm not against it either. Yeah, Slam and Gray Merchant. If we can get one more of those, that would help tremendously. Well, here's a way to splash blue. We could take the Temple of Deceit. I guess alternatively we could also take the Opaline Unicorn. What am I splashing blue for anyway? Just Ari Worshippers? It's not that amazing. Is there anything else good in here? Yeah, Ill-Tempered Cyclops is a great finisher and creature. Alright, I think we're taking the Cyclops over the Temple. The blue splash is cute, but it's not going to happen. Not at this point. I'm just going to solidify myself in red-black pretty happily, I think. So, more creatures? Yes. Okay. Flame Speaker, Blood Toll Harpy, Spear Point. Harpy is evasive. Works well with our Bestow. I'll probably just take that. Flame Speaker Adept. Currently we have, I guess we do technically have a Spark Jolt, but I don't think we're main decking that. Typically, Blood Toll Harpy not that good, though, for a more control-ish deck, which we are, pretty clearly. We want to be able to block well until we can get our removal online. So I think Flame Speaker Adept probably is actually a better card for our deck. Blood Toll Harpy, though, does give us Gray Merchant Devotion, which is important. But Flame Speaker just blocks better blocks better, period, but blocks and attacks better with Titan Strength. Let's take the Adept. Alright, so now we have a choice between a Harpy or a Spear Point Oread. Well, I mean, Oread has Bestow, but I don't think we have any Heroic, actually. So I guess we can take the Harpy now, get some evasion. Spear Point's cool card, and I do actually like it, but could use a Harpy, I guess. Alright, more Harpies. Lash the Whip. Here's our Disciple. I think we take the Disciple now. It doesn't get much better than this. So we're going to take that over the Lash. Jeez, good white cards now too. Somebody's getting hooked up with Wingsteed Riders and 100-handed ones. Yeah, let's just slam the Disciple. I feel like we're a deck that's going to have ample black. I guess most of these are spells, though, oddly enough. So maybe we don't have as much black devotion as I thought, but just removing cards from their hand is so good. It gives us double devotion for Gray Merchant. Yeah, let's take it. Titan of Eternal Fire. We could play this, actually, as our second finisher. Do we have any humans? Adept is. I mean, we could play it as pretty much a 6-mana 5/6. I don't know what else I'm taking, really, so I'll take it. I'm definitely not playing it for its ability. Just playing it because it's a fatty I can finish with. Since we're still very low on creatures. And Necrobite's looking less and less attractive in this deck by the second. Alright, second Marauders versus Cavern Lampad. Well, I mean, I like the Bestow, but it's hard to argue the Marauders in this deep of a black deck. feel like you can really find some key opportunities to get in, punish, build towards that Gray Merchant. I do like Cavern Lampad a lot, but I think Marauders has more potential upside. Alright, now we should just probably hate the most annoying cards, which is probably the Battle-Wise Valor. Even though we have a good chance to 2-for-1 it, I think that's just far and away the most annoying card in the deck, or in that pack remaining. Alright, so this time we table the Disciple. Yeah, we're going to double up on Disciples for sure. I like the Ordeal a lot, but this is just, I think, much more in line with what we're trying to do. Let's continue to hate Battle-Wise Valors. Alright, table the Spear Pointer, yeah, that's a good sign. Flamecast Wheel, probably don't need it. Peak Eruption's a good sideboard card. So we ended up with more than enough cards for a deck. Always a good sign. And we're going to be able to play our Forge Stoker Dragon, which is good news. We're also essentially, we're almost mono black. I'm sure there's a build that I could do that's probably mono black. But that's not going to happen. We're playing our red. Too much good red to pass up on. I think we're probably still doing the Titan, but we'll see. Maybe I don't need a 5-6. It's hard to argue against a 5-6, though, in my opinion. I think a 5-6 beater for 6 in red is actually kind of good. In a deck like this that's just full of control. I feel like the Sanguimancy is a little bit too dangerous, but I've never played it before, so we'll see. I think with just the Read the Bones, I'm probably just fine. Alright, let's get in for sure spells I'd like to play, or at least spells that require more decision making. Can put in one Necrobite, definitely one. Our Asphyxiates, probably don't need the Drifters, probably don't need the Sanguimancy, but that's okay. Alright, so this is 30 cards. $16 creatures. Alright. Definitely looking a wee bit 3-drop heavy. Okay, so cuts. I think don't really need the Grizzly transformation. We've got double Mogusi's Marauders. Just essentially do the same thing, so that's not necessary. Probably can cut Boon. I'd rather just play the Titan Strengths, I think. Get the Scry. Get the more damage. Could also diversify, but I really just think Titan Strength's a better card. Especially with the Flame Speaker Adept. And we're already kind of punishing ourselves a little bit with the Read the Bones, so let's try and minimize that. Also, essentially, Necrobite does like the same thing, except it doesn't cost you more mana, but it doesn't cost you life. We probably don't even need the Necrobite. Probably don't need this. I don't think we need the Cyclops of One-Eyed Pass. I think it's a good blocker, but let's keep our double red at a minimum, just for the Forge Stoker Dragon. The question is, do I still want the Titan of Eternal Fire? Probably does more work than this Forsaken Drifters is going to do, so okay. So I need to make 2 more cuts. Why don't we, well, I mean, actually, how good is Sanguimancy in this deck? It's probably 5 mana, draw 2 cards most of the time, is really what it looks like. So why don't we get rid of it? 5 mana, draw 2, lose 2 life seems really dreadfully bad. Alright, so 14 creatures. Our creatures are a little bit unimpressive, besides Forge Stoker. We do have the Gray Merchant. Ill-Tempered can totally clean up games. We don't have a lot that can clean up games otherwise. Our removal suit is very good. I like the Cures. I like the Asphyxiates. I like that we don't need double red until very late. That's going to help with the mana base. I'm still on board with playing Titan of Eternal Fire just because he's a big piece of fat I want to launch out there. I believe we're probably cutting a spell. Mogusi's Marauders are not very good in this deck. I should just start off by saying that. So I probably shouldn't be opposed to cutting one. I just, it's like, it's not really what this deck wants to do. It's never bad because it's haste, at least to itself. But it's not real good in here. I can't see a lot of times I'm going to maximize my value of it. I guess there's those times I could have an adept out and give that intimidate and Titan strength it and attack for like 7. So I do have those going for me, but it's probably not worth cutting one of them, I guess, just because they're at least a creature. Just not that good of a creature. It builds towards devotion, I guess. This deck could have used at least one more Gray Merchant, and it would have gone from pretty good to insane, I think. We have enough ways to win. I really can't stress that enough. Cyclops, Dragon, Titan, Gray Merchant. We've got the disruption, certainly have the removal, got a little bit of card draw. What is the cut here? Could cut the Scourge Mark. I like that it builds devotion and draws us cards, but it's not. It just feels like an easy card to cut, I guess, is the real thing. Everything else is an actual either combat trick or piece of removal or card advantage. So our spell suit I'm very happy with. I have no complaints about our spell suit. Our creature suit, my only complaint is could have used more Gray Merchants. Could have used some more black spells I can't think of right now. Probably just more Gray Merchants, yeah. But the rest is fine. This deck looks interesting. It's red, black, mid-range, great removal suit. I think this could definitely do something for sure. Let's see what we're dealing with. 12-5, I don't like that. Let's do 10-7. I do need double black, presumably on turn 2 fairly often, but I don't want to not have my red source either. I think 10-7 is usually pretty appropriate. You want to see both colors for sure. How good is this deck out of 10? I would probably rate it about a 6, slightly above average. Our removal suit is what probably puts it at 6. Our creature suit probably brings it down a little bit from where it could have potentially been. But who knows? We'll have to see how it goes. I wish I'd gotten some more evasion, but like I said, our removal suit is very good. So we've got late game plan. We'll see how it does. I'll see you guys round 1.